Good morning. All right, we're out here this morning, and a lot of you, the last time I posted a video of this Covington Planter, a lot of you commented and a lot of you was interested. So I'm just going to do a short video and try to get you some footage of planting corn here later. It's a single row planter. Now you can get these in double row. Now this planter, I bought the planter itself in a kit. This part is an old cultivator I had, which I cut down. And I done a modification up front to this. I needed this cultivator foot. If you see, it sticks down. Now this planter comes with a great big opener, kind of like what we used to call a bull tongue plow. This thing right here. And it's supposed to sit in front down there on that coulter and open a row. Well, what I've found out is if everything's tilled up or disked up your garden wise, this thing has a set of openers on it right here, and they work just very well to open up loose soil. Yes, you got to watch them, but they do open up, and they open up a space right there in between, and this is the seed tube, which the seeds drop down, and then these are the pack wheels and the drive wheels. They drive the cogs, and the way they drive them is the chain over here, and you can set these different cogs to your spacing right here. That's why they're marked 8, 12. This one I think is a 6. Down there's a 12. I've got a whole variety of those. Same as a seed plate in here. It's gravity fed. This is your hopper. And as the seed falls down, the seed plate there will pick it up. If you see what I'm talking about. It'll pick it up on this side. It'll bring it right up here and it drops it down the chute. And once it drops it down the chute, of course all the openers do is open up and packers pack it in. Now the fertilizer mechanism is real simple. It runs off this cog, which is still drove by the same chain. And it's got a bar that catches these knobs here. Now the only thing I think that could be an improvement on this is if a person wanted to buy a different cog and cut some of these off and only space the fertilizer about the same spacing as the seed. That's my opinion. But when it does make it shake, which is what it does, watch what it does. It makes this seed box shake, or I'm sorry, the fertilizer box. And you can see it shaking under there. And once it shakes, this is the fertilizer hopper, and you can set the flow right here with the space. When you set your space, the fertilizer just gets scattered down this tube right in front of the openers, and they split it because they say they don't want it right on top of the seed. Now note, I cut mine off a little bit so it just drops it on top of the row and packs it in as the packer wheels go by. Like I say, it's not a fancy planter. It's a simple planter, and from my understanding it's about a 100-year-old design, but they do work well. This one has a wooden box. The back is metal, sides are wood, and they make a poly box for this. Now, if this one ever rots off, which I make a cover for this, that's why the 2x4s are on here. I'll just put a big old piece of roofing tin over it for the winter time. Hopefully I get my barn built down there, I can park it in it and won't have to worry about doing that. I also made a simple set of stands that bolt right here that keep it up. And I mean, when I say simple, they're just 2 pieces of pipe with a piece of weld cobbled on them, and I'll bolt them through the holes. That just keeps it from turning side to side on me. I can set it down that way. I try my best to keep it oiled up and everything and cleaned up, but I am seeing some surface rust on the planter down here, which I'm going to fix this year. I'll put some rust converter and stuff on it here before I store it, and I'll oil it down like no tomorrow to try to stop this rust right here. Because the good thing about it, all of it's pretty simple to rebuild if you had to, but I'd rather not have to do that. Anyhow, that's a basic explanation of the planter, and I use it behind my little tractor now. And you can get 2 of these and put them side by side. I guess you could get 6 or 7 of these and put them side by side. You just have to build your toolbar out here further. But for my small operation, I plant single row and can plant a bunch of rows in just a short amount of time. And I use this for my field corn, my sweet corn. I have used it for beans and peas. And they make a canister that sits here. You can take this planter off for corn and put a cotton seed or maybe a mustard seed or some kind of small canister that sits in there, which would be handy for cabbage, but I plant my cabbage through the old tobacco setter because I put them in a bed to start them anyway, not by seed. But yeah, that's the simple gist of the Covington Planter. And like I say, I'll try to get you some footage of it and let you see it work here in a little while. See you later. All right, here we go. All right, I'm 2 rows in. Sorry about that. And even though I trust the machinery, like I say, you can see how much corn that's about used. Even though I trust the machinery, I'm gonna take a look and make sure I can find the corn. Because it should be dropping. There it is. Yep, right there. And see, that's a test to make sure my planters are planting. I usually run about 2 rows and do that because sometimes this tube, where it's set over the winter, can get stopped up a little bit. I mean, doesn't appear to be yet. Corn going somewhere, so we're gonna keep planting.